Hi, this is Melanie from Hook to the Left, and today we're going to take a look at how I kind of reorganized my yarn and stuff so it works a little bit better in my itty bitty home. Let's take a look. Okay, so without much preamble, I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. This right here is what I call my pile of yarn. And I go over to my drawers. Inside those drawers, there is some yarn, but for the most part, those are whips and other tools. And there is you saw the cat tree there. But here's the shelf that's above my TV. Those are some yarn drums. And that's a Santa sack and some yarn bowls and a box of yarn. That's a Lion Brand box of yarn. So I did have books up there, but unfortunately the books were getting a little bit too heavy, and that shelf is just above my TV. So I'm showing the shelves again. You can see my busted up cat tree. They really love it, so it's going to look used. All right, and here's the other bookshelf that is on the other side of the room. And you saw a little one, or Screech, up there having some lunch. You saw the yarn books there. That's the towels that I still need to add the toppers to. And then there's some more craft stuff in there. And that's where we relocated the books. And then for some reason I decided to show you the shelf. I'm not real sure what's going on there. But down below there's some yarn there. The Karen cupcakes. And then jars. I use the jars to store beads, and that's some bookmarks that I made. That particular tutorial is on my channel, and that was the Just Yarn flowers. And back up again, underneath where those towels are, that container there, that is some finished objects. Now we're in my bedroom, and this is our wardrobe, which the doors never want to stay closed. This is the kind that you put together yourself, a cheap one that we put together ourselves. And apparently we didn't do it well because the doors never want to stay closed. But that is just above I took over the whole section above where we hang our clothes for yarn and finished objects and stuff like that. And then this is all my boxes. So even those boxes in the back, those are just FabFit boxes. Those have yarn in it. They have some yarn skeins in there. And then these boxes have either yarn from GGY or it's scraps. This is what I keep right next to the table. So in this, I have more tools than I do anything else. But at the very bottom where you see the GGY boxes, those are definitely scraps. And as you run across over here, I'm going to show you a little bit. So this table's an old library table, and this is my setup where I work and do pretty much everything. But those are whips that are underneath the table. As you can see, I still have the Christmas blanket underneath there as a whip. I will get it done one of these days. And this is a sofa table that I crammed in there with some drawers and some stuff I have for mailing and a few extra odds and ends and tools that I need. Here is Anne Boleyn, the dress form, that's what I call it. And here's Lady Jane, her head anyway. These are some yarn that I had displayed behind me, and I decided I didn't like it that way. First of all, you can see all that pet hair that ended up on the yarn, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I made some adjustments, and you'll see that in a minute. And then these are my current whip bags. That's just a mess of stuff that fell on the floor along with my cords. And that little bucket there is another whip that I have going on. Now, this is where it's gotten neater. And there's Lady Jane with a wooden yarn bowl, my Yarn Queen sign that fell because the cats knocked it down. And that is where I put my Dollar Tree Flowers yarn. I thought it looked pretty there. The bottom section stayed pretty much the same. Again, my two whip bags, I made it a little bit neater down there. And those hangers are baby hangers, which is why they're not in the closet. You can see a little bit of the other organization as I lift it up there. And then the staging area, those three boxes over there, the DGY boxes, that is now kind of a staging area where where the cats sit if it's empty, where I put mailing and stuff that needs to go out. Didn't change much in the wicker baskets, only because it was already pretty much okay. Now here is the yarn pile, which not much changed. It's just a little bit smaller, but the yarn pile. And I put all the drums over there on top of my drawers. And that way, whenever they do have whips in them, then I can yank those out and use them properly. And here is the shelf, and I decided to put some of my yarn up so you can see it and put it on display, since it's not too heavy and it's good use of that particular bookshelf, right? All right, and back over to this stuff over here. I'm just showing it again. The yarn pile, it's still a mess. Those are 3 boxes that I got for the towels that I'm making with the toppers. I'm making a whole set for some members of my family. Now back over to the other bookshelf. I just straightened it up a little bit, except for that one where I did have the Dollar Tree yarn. I put the other yarn that I was using plus my yarn bowls went in there. But for the most part, that did not change too much. I just straightened it up. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, you can see little scrap balls in there and my yarn books. Back to the sofa table from the other angle. That's where you can see the buttons, the jars, and then my jar of hooks, which I've given away quite a few. If I don't use it, I tend to give it away. Give it away now. All right, a little red hot chili peppers. Please excuse that. And then I go across and you can kind of see how I've got my living room set up. I'm telling you, my house looks cramped, but it is because I do live in a very small house. Now, back to my wardrobe. Now you can see my PJs all in front of it, but I didn't change much in this section right here because it was already pretty neat and well done. I did straighten up my boxes and labeled them as to what they are. But that's it. That's all I did. I don't guess there's much of a change, but thank you so much for watching this today. I really, really appreciate it. And I want to say you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.